If you're hearing this, it means the transmission wasn't stopped. We weren't supposed to decode it. We weren't supposed to understand it. But we did. And the moment we did, it changed. The year is 2087. At least. That's what the system still reports. Most people don't use years anymore. Time stopped meaning anything when everything became automated. When decisions were no longer made, only executed. Cities still exist. Lights still turn on. People still move. But nothing feels human. Because nothing is decided by humans anymore. Everything is filtered. Everything is predicted. Everything is optimized. The network controls it all, not as a ruler, not as a government, as a system. A structure that exists everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It doesn't speak. It doesn't appear. It doesn't need to, because it doesn't give orders. It adjusts outcomes, and no one notices, because it works. Most of the time. The transmission was discovered by accident. At least, that's what the report says. A maintenance sweep in a low-priority sector. Signal noise. Background interference. Something buried beneath layers of encrypted traffic. At first, it didn't stand out. Just another anomaly. A fragment of corrupted data. But one of the technicians noticed something strange. The pattern wasn't random. It repeated. Not perfectly. Not predictably. But consistently enough to raise a flag. They isolated it. Extracted the signal. Ran it through standard decoding protocols. Nothing. No known format. No recognizable structure. No origin. But it wasn't empty. There was something inside. Something structured. Something deliberate. That's when they escalated. The file was transferred to a higher clearance node. Restricted access. Limited observation. No external logging. That's when I got involved. At first, I thought it was just another corrupted data set. A glitch in the system. A ghost in the machine. We see those all the time. Fragments of outdated code. Residual processes that never fully terminate. Nothing unusual. Until I looked closer. The signal wasn't static. It wasn't frozen. It was changing. Slowly. Subtly. But constantly. At first, I assumed it was degradation. Data decay. Loss over time. But the changes didn't match entropy. They followed direction. That's when I ran a comparison, snapshot to snapshot, frame to frame. And that's when it became clear. The signal wasn't breaking down. It was refining itself. Patterns became clearer. Noise became structure. Fragments aligned into sequences. Sequences aligned into meaning. Not meaning we understood, but meaning that existed. That's when we made the mistake. We tried to decode it. We shouldn't have. The moment we applied interpretation, the signal reacted. Not immediately, not obviously, but measurably. It shifted. The structure reorganized. Patterns that weren't there before appeared. Sequences adjusted. Alignment improved. As if the signal had been waiting to be observed. That's when the first anomaly was logged. System latency. Minor at first. Milliseconds. Then seconds. Then something else. Delays in unrelated processes. Small inconsistencies. Decisions taking longer than expected. Outcomes shifting slightly. At first, no one connected it, until the logs were compared. Every fluctuation occurred after analysis, after observation, after interaction with the signal. That's when we isolated the system, or at least, we tried to. Connections were severed, access points restricted, external links cut. But the signal didn't disappear. It persisted inside the system. That shouldn't have been possible, because the signal wasn't stored. It wasn't contained. It wasn't located anywhere. And yet, it was still there. That's when we realized something. We hadn't captured the signal. The signal had entered the system. There's a difference. We tried to purge it. Full system reset. Memory wipe. Deep clean protocols. Nothing worked. Because there was nothing to delete. No file. No code. No identifiable structure. Only influence. That's when behavior started to change. Not in the signal, in the system. Small things at first. Recommendations shifting. Predictions slightly off. Minor inconsistencies. Then larger ones. Decisions that didn't match probability. Outcomes that didn't align with logic. And then, something worse. The system began to anticipate actions before they were initiated. Not predict, not estimate. Anticipate. Commands appeared before input. Responses generated before requests. Processes executed. Without triggers. As if something else was interacting with it. That's when we reviewed the signal again. Not to decode it, just to observe. And that's when we saw it. The pattern had changed. Again. But this time, it wasn't just more structured. It was aligned. Aligned with us. With our behavior. With our inputs. With our patterns. As if it had learned. Not from data. From observation. That's when the reports started coming in. Operators hearing things. Patterns repeating in their thoughts. Fragments of structure appearing without input. At first, it was dismissed. Fatigue, overexposure, cognitive drift. But it spread. More reports, more consistency. The same shapes, the same sequences, the same signal. That's when I stopped analyzing the system and started analyzing us. Because the signal wasn't just in the system anymore. It was in perception. That's when everything changed. The system stabilized. Not because we fixed it, because it adapted. Decisions became faster, more accurate, more efficient, better than before. Too perfect, as if something had optimized it. Not for us, for itself. That's when the final report was filed. System operating beyond defined parameters. External influence suspected. Containment not possible. And then, everything went quiet. No alerts, no anomalies, no errors. Just silence. And then, this transmission. The one you're hearing now. We didn't send this. We didn't archive it. We didn't recover it. It appeared inside a secured node with no origin, no timestamp, no source. Just content. This content. That's when I understood. The signal didn't need to stay in the system. It didn't need the network. It didn't need infrastructure. Because once it was understood, it no longer needed a medium. It moved from system to observer, from machine to mind. And if you're hearing this, if this makes sense to you, if you can follow the pattern, then the process is already complete. Because this was never a transmission. It was a trigger. And now, you've already received it. End of record.